Hello everyone. Let me just quickly see if my microphone's working. Okay, so it seems that everything is working. So I haven't done a live stream in a bit of a while, and I thought that the best way to get back into it would be with today. Today is the day ahead of FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow, and on my most recent upload for today's date, I spoke about how I'm going to be scheduling a live stream for today, and we're going to be looking at how price wants to move before the FOMC meeting ends tomorrow, which will contain information about how the Federal Reserve is interpreting the tariff tax, I guess you could call it, and if they sense it is maybe recessionary or um, inflationary. And for more details, you can just go watch the video. It's a short 10-minute video. Won't take too much of your time, but moving into price action. My main draw for today is previous day high. From there, once price takes that, we're gonna have to go under more reassessment. If we really quickly go on the 4 hour, yesterday with this we had a run higher, which inverts this new opening gap, and so on this run where we're using this new opening gap as support to bring us higher to where we are now. But yesterday had this rejection of this 4 hour imbalance, and if price wants to continue moving higher and take this high here, it will give us valuable insight on how in the future price is going to move referencing this high. So there's two scenarios in place where we would shift to this buy side liquidity, grabbing it and running higher, or there's a scenario where we would um, take it, use it as a turtle soup, and then start to move lower and refer back to this new opening gap here that, or sorry, new day opening gap that has yet to be filled. So let's move back on the 1 hour. So midnight open is lower. We're pretty much overextended throughout the morning. There was a bit of an accumulation throughout overnight, and then as 7 a.m. started, we started to pick up and start to move higher. The RTH gap has yet to be filled to its consequent encroachment. If we move on the 15 minutes, a bit more clearer. So yeah, this was the anchor low that I had mentioned on my notes. I just want to put it up really quickly. So yesterday I mentioned that I wanted to, yeah. So this high here, I said from there, price reaching the premium is for I'll generating a premium buy side that may be targeted tomorrow. So this high here is actually the premium of this range, and it does look as it may be engineered buy side liquidity. But for now, we can wait. 9:30, drop this into this gap here. I would have liked to see it move a bit lower and take out this financial side liquidity. It's still possible. But if price just has lots of urgency to keep on moving higher and fail to manipulate lower before moving higher, then that would probably mean that the run on this buy side would be a soup, and it will run that buy side and then continue to move lower and take out accumulation lows, fill this new day opening gap, and just drop lower to take the buy side liquidity that would be engineered on this run higher here. So I think that's the most important note that I want to keep in mind today. It's that if price fails to manipulate significantly lower, possibly below the RTH gap CE, and take this minor sell side liquidity, or possibly even midnight open. If it fails to do that, then this would be pretty much confirmed that this was a engineering of sell side liquidity for price to run this high and then start to seek the buy side here. Or if we do see a sweep on sell side or proper manipulation throughout the day, then we can expect that the FOMC meeting minutes tomorrow will distribute us higher. And yeah, that's generally it for what I'm really expecting. But let's drop down on the 1 minute time frame. First presentation gap here. Let's draw it out. There it is. Just inversed it in the trading side of this gap. That's kind of overlapping with the first presentation. I want to see if the inversion of this first presentation gap is enough to take us towards the minor sell side. Today's taper is just going to be noting how stuff happens and whether we do or not meet our objectives. As 9:30 opened up, we can see that there was a lot of it didn't really look purposeful. As we reach into the RTH gap, we found reduction. If we measure this quadrant, we can see that it reached into the discount of the premium and then found resistance off of there, touched this volume imbalance, and then started to move higher again. See price now moving back higher, touching this RTH gap. I want to see if price does find resistance off of this balanced price range. And remember, balanced price ranges are efficient price ranges. Retracement to them is not completely necessary in a lot of cases. When we do retrace to a balanced price range, it usually ends up disrespecting it. So there, we inversed the balanced price range. Already, I can tell that price is not the most efficient right now. See how it's inversing the first position gap, and then inversing it again, and then inversing it again. So It's a lot of reclaiming going on. See how far that's how liquidity is. Judging off of what happened with the first presentation gap, I feel like if we wanted to take minor sell side liquidity and if we wanted to really manipulate price lower for where a property, if we wanted to manipulate price lower and get people into early shorts before starting to move higher, within that generating buys, and then we soup the buy side liquidity and then try to move lower. I feel like it would have souped that low here within 930 move. And you see how it's like really stagnating. It's not the most ideal situation for it to move lower and grab sell side now. I was just thinking about what I was talking about earlier with the scenario that we would get on the buy side liquidity if we do not manipulate lower. And feel like if we just continue to move higher, this might conflict what I just said, but if we keep moving higher and take the buy side liquidity without running the accumulation goals or touching small sort of liquidity, then that would probably set up for tomorrow FOMC meeting notes to run all that sell side. So yeah. Yeah, revising what I was talking about earlier, I think it makes more sense that if today just keeps running higher, as you can see, we're very overextended with little manipulation. Today keeps running higher, generating sell-side liquidity beneath all these lows, and we run buy side. It'll probably be seen as a sweep, and this day would be considered manipulation. Actually, not only this day, yesterday and today would be considered manipulation. So, we go on the 4 hour very quickly. Yesterday, manipulated buys, and there are sell stops beneath above this high. Sorry, and yesterday traveled higher, generating buy side liquidity beneath these lows and sell side liquidity above this high. Price running this buy side liquidity would be stopping out the sellers and keeping the buyers in. But the overextension that we have with manipulation might make it challenging for price to keep all the sell side liquidity here unpurged. But at the same time, the 1 month is finding good rejection off of the anchor low. That is what I wanted to see for a while. So to be honest, it's a bit of a tricky situation. I'm not sure what to anticipate further. I guess we just have to wait for today to close off, and that will give us more insight on how tomorrow and the rest of the week will play out. But right now, it's a bit confusing because I'm not sure. I can't kind of place it into a scenario for buy side liquidity because the little retracement we have and how it's just constantly moving higher, generating buy side liquidity, it would make me feel like the run on the buy side would trigger a soup to start to see all of this sell side liquidity. But at the same time, uh, price does seem like on a higher time frame narrative basis, it is telling me that we are probably going to keep on moving higher. But I guess we'll just find out whenever price hits its buy side liquidity, and that will tell us if we start to begin to seek so liquidity, we're probably going to be lower, and this would have just been a small retracement. But if we do push through the buy side liquidity, then I guess this sell side will remain unfilled, or sorry, not unfilled, untouched, and we'll just keep moving higher, putting buyers and sellers. But I feel like it is very unlikely that there is a majority of buyers right now in the market with the fear and everything that everyone's going through, and how no one's really looking to buy. So, like, I guess you can say on the daily, uh, this move lower really manipulated enough sellers into the market, and the influx of buyers that we got within moves here wouldn't be significant compared to this one, and I think it's a bigger priority to run the buy side generated above these highs on this run over here, and it will start off with this buy side here, and then eventually this, and then eventually that, if we decide to continue higher and push through the buy side. I don't want to confuse myself too much. In summary, the buy side above these highs on this run lower is more significant to be taken than the sell side below these lows here. So right now we're getting really within the proximity of the buy side liquidity, inversing the first presentation gap one more time. They start to pick up and start to drive higher. fail to fill this gap. We run lower one time here, get this fair value gap, and then cup higher, running that high that of the low that was placed. So once we run the buy side liquidity, I think I'm going to be ending stream there, and I'll be getting off the charts. I think mainly because I want to see price after the fact that it's taken this at the end of the day. I may do a short video at the end of the day, just summarizing what happened. price is really taking its time trying to go to the buy side. I mean, I think it's most probably gonna reach the buy side, just a matter of time. It's a it's a very clean line, as you could say, all over the play. I think I'm gonna be ending the stream here. Um, I don't think is I don't think that it's worth anything to me to watch the buy side get well. It's most likely gonna happen within the hour of tuning in. But, it's just slow right now, and we expect it from news, fundamental factors. So, yeah.